you. Thank you very much. And thanks to all you folks out there for tuning in to the Barry Bowe Show. What you see is what you get. No fancy microphones, no earphones, no virtual backgrounds, no ads. But you'll probably see my little sweetie pie, Blondie, popping in and out. I think she's sleeping right now. I don't claim to be an expert on anything. And if you're easily offended, get the fuck out right now. We don't need your kind around here. Today is May 7th, 2025. And all of a sudden, Alcatraz is in the news. Now, some of you youngsters out there might be asking, what's Alcatraz? To begin with, Alcatraz is an island that sits in the San Francisco Bay, about 1.25 miles offshore from the city of San Francisco. The waters surrounding Alcatraz are quite cold, with strong opposing currents, and oh yeah, they're shark infested. It's not where you go for your Sunday swim. And Alcatraz was also once a maximum security federal prison built on top of Alcatraz Island. It's often referred to as the Rock, and it was chosen because it was believed that that location would be escape-proof. Alcatraz stopped being a prison in 1963 and became a national park / tourist attraction. Why is Alcatraz so popular? Well, it was always popular in pop culture. Hollywood made a couple movies. Birdman of Alcatraz, way back in 1962, starring Burt Lancaster and Carl Malden. A story about the amazing accomplishments of a lifer who was incarcerated on the Rock. And there was Escape from Alcatraz back in 1979, starring Clint Eastwood. Let's take a look at a clip from Escape from Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, the Rock. No one has ever escaped from this prison. This is Frank Morris. Armed robbery, burglary, grand larceny. Morris has escaped from many prisons, but Alcatraz could be the exception.
I smell something burning.
I'm looking for a new punk.
Good luck.
You don't understand. I just found her.
I guess anything you want bad enough is worth the chance.
Including busting out.
Some men are destined never to leave Alcatraz. Alive.
This island is solid rock. No one's ever busted out. No one's ever made it.
Since I've been warden, a few people have tried to escape. Most of them have been recaptured. Those that haven't have been killed.
I may have found a way out of here.
No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz.
I'm in.
Me too. And no one ever will.
There are 12 counts every day.
Hold it.
One long count. We count the hours. Tuesday night we go.
Shake down.
The bulls count us, and the king bulls count the counts.
No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz. And no one ever will.
See you later, man. Goodbye.
And no one ever will. And no
In
one ever will.
1962, that statement was no longer valid. Clint Eastwood is Frank Morris in Escape from Alcatraz.
Let's take a look at what the warden just said. It was believed that no one could survive an attempt to swim from the Rock to the city of San Francisco. Recently, Riley Gaines made the swim from Alcatraz to San Fran with a handful of Navy SEALs and combat veterans. She said it was such a fun and cold way to honor those who risked their lives for our great nation. God bless our troops. Of course, they were accompanied by lifeboats with lifeguards and medics aboard. Riley rose to fame 3 years ago when she tied for the NCAA Female Championship 200-meter freestyle. She tied with Leah Thomas, a man pretending to be a woman, a man who was a back-of-the-packer with the male swim team at Penn, but he not so mysteriously became a champion when competing against women. Anyway, Riley has since embarked on a courageous crusade to keep men out of women's sports. Let's take a side trip to meet Jack LaLanne. That's 2 N's in his last name. Here he is in his 20s, quite impressive, a physical specimen. He became a fitness guru before most people ever heard of fitness. he became known as the Godfather of fitness. And every year on his birthday, he accomplished an amazing feat of strength and endurance. For instance, when he turned 70, he swam 1.5 miles through Long Beach Harbor, handcuffed and shackled, while he towed 70 rowboats behind him, rowboats carrying 70 passengers. See the tie into 70? I don't know how that's humanly possible. And remember, he did it when he was 70. Now let's flash back 10 years to when Jack turned 60, which takes us back to Alcatraz. At 60, Jack LaLanne swam from the Rock to the city, handcuffed. Here's the before, and here's the after. So, why is Alcatraz suddenly in the news? Simple. Because Donald Trump says he wants to resuscitate Alcatraz, return it to a prison that incarcerates our most dangerous criminals. What the hell? Why not just call it MAGAtraz? Check him out yesterday.
Was supposed to be a movie maker. We started with the movie making and we'll end. I mean, it represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order. Our country needs law and order. Alcatraz is, I would say, the ultimate. Right? Alcatraz, Sing Sing and Alcatraz, the movies. But it's right now a museum, believe it or not. A lot of people go there. It housed the most violent criminals in the world, and nobody ever escaped. One person almost got there, but as you know the story, they found his clothing rather badly ripped up, and it was a lot of shark bites, a lot of problems. Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz, and just represented something strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country. And so we're going to look at it. Some of the people up here are going to be working very hard on that. And we had a little conversation. I think it's going to be very interesting. We'll see if we can bring it back in large form and a lot. But I think it represents something. Right now it's a big hulk that's sitting there rusting and rotting.
And between me and you, I don't know if Donnie's bullshitting or if he's serious. He loves to fuck with people. He likes to make shit up, to send his opponents scurrying off on wild goose chases. In knee-jerk reactions, his political foes started attacking him, making fun of him, and suddenly questioning his mental acuity, like they never did with his feeble-brained predecessor. And one of this week's talking points is already that Trump is suffering a mental decline. And some of his foes are saying that he suddenly became interested in Alcatraz because one of the South Florida TV stations showed the movie Escape from Alcatraz the other day. In other words, they speculate that Donnie watched the movie, then decided to revive Alcatraz. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I think he's fucking with the Dems, just like I think he's fucking with the Canucks. Adding Canada as the 51st state would sway the balance of political power back to the Dems for a long time. I think Donnie's too smart to do something so stupid. The Trumpinator strikes again. And now a couple quick check-ins before we say hasta la vista. Take a look at this couple. Alex Soros, son of the evil billionaire who's trying to destroy America, and Huma Abedin, who served as Hillary's fixer while she was married to a pedophile. Handsome couple. And speaking about handsome, here's Robert De Niro's son. That's right, I said son. His pretend name is now Aaron, spelled A-I-R-Y-N. And here's how he looked when his name was Aaron. Now let's see what Mr. Platform Shoes has to say about his son. And I quote, "I loved and supported Aaron as my son, and now I love and support Aaron as my daughter. I don't know what the big deal is. I love all my children." Sounds to me like cuckoo runs in the family, Bobby. All that said, thanks for stopping in today. Oh, let's hear from this guy before we sign off.
I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Get Born to Be Wild by Barry Bowe, America's best crime writer. Or else, you be the horse and get it right now.
Thanks, Don Vito. And once again, thanks to all you folks for tuning in. Hope you like the show. Hope you check out our other 3 podcasts. They're all audio. Hope you become regulars, and don't be shy. pass along any comments or suggestions. So that's it for today. Until next time. And that's a wrap.